All right, it's time for a little Say It Louder here, and let's talk about two teams with very different vibes going into the postseason, and that's the Eagles and the Texans here. So we've got to figure out who's responsible for the situations that's going on in these two teams here. Who deserves the most blame in Philly and the most praise in Houston? All right, let's start with Philly.
Well, so in Philly, I think it's Coach Sirianni. I think it's the coach because you had to replace your offense and defensive coordinator, and that's that's what happens when you have a great season like you did. People have to elevate and go on, but you have to find the right guys. And as much as the offense and defense hasn't looked as good, I think it's like his demeanor and attitude. I can remember video footage of him a year ago, like pandering to the crowd and trying to be like the player guy, and Jalen Hurts having to say, "Coach, chill. Relax, man. We got a whole game to play. Calm down. Have some poise." When your quarterback has to tell your head coach to have some poise and relax in the middle of a game, that's not good stuff. And when you don't have those exceptional coordinators to back you, it makes it a little bit tougher, and you can see what happens.
I agree with that, actually, but it's the defense. The defense deserves the criticism here because last year, this was this number 2 ranked defense. They went out and got a bunch of guys. They added talent to this. You get Jalen Carter with the first round. You add Shaq Leonard from free agency. You're getting guys on your roster. For that defense to be ranked 26 is ridiculous. And on top of that, 31st in passing defense. Last year they were 2. And this is the biggest kicker.
Travis, how many teams are in the NFL?
32.
They're 26, 31st. So I'm just saying, just trying to further your point there. My goodness.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
It's bad ball.
This is the one. This one brought tears to my eyes when I seen this. 43 sacks this season. Last year, 70. That tells the story right there.
That's tough.
No, I mean, you bring up a really good point there, and I think it's obvious. You mentioned back to Sirianni there, missing those coordinators. You can't hide behind the coordinators. He's at the forefront this season, and so not to put all the blame on him there, but because they have dealt with injuries and other things. But when you start 10-1, and then you just you've lost 5 of your last 6.
That's crazy.
You've got to look at the head coach there. He is the leader of that team. Jalen Hurts has gone through his own struggles here, but yeah, I mean, you have to have a reality check. Sirianni, is he gone if the Eagles don't go far?
I don't think so. I think that's a stretch just a little bit too far. They did go to the Super Bowl a year ago, right? And so he loses those 2 coordinators. Like you said, they dealt with some injuries and different things like that. I think that his attitude needs to shift, right? He needs to be more of the CEO and more of a disciplinarian, if you will. Not necessarily overhauling his entire personality, but he has to make sure he shows the same poise that his quarterback shows, just so that it bleeds throughout the team. I think that will be the change, but I don't think you can't get rid of him just yet.
He's out of there.
Out of there.
He seems to me lost the team. I just don't think the people believe in him like they did last year. You can just tell by the way that they're playing. You can't keep a guy like that. Man, it's a tough business. Out of there.
It's hot. Time is to stay in his seat.
Out of there.
Won the Super Bowl last year.
Out of there.
Jalen Hurts second MVP.
You also are coaching.
And what is he this year? He's regressed.
Defense is number 1.
I just think he lost the locker room. I personally think so.
Out of there.
Did you watch them this past Sunday?
I know.
They lost to the Giants. They gave up 21 points in the second quarter to the Giants.
He hurt his finger.
Oh, don't do that.
Out of there.
Out of there.
Oh.
You gotta roll your tongue.
Just to reiterate, he's out of there.
Out of there.
Okay, well, listen, we didn't expect the Eagles to have these struggles coming into the season here. Some people were saying they were Super Bowl contenders once again.